expressed by the guests and contributors on Conklin Company are not necessarily those of 13 ABC. Now, Conklin Company continues with Take 3, commentary and analysis from our panel of political contributors.
All right, from journalists just kind of starting out and doing their thing to some experienced journalists here in the town here. We appreciate it.
Check us out.
You both looked like you didn't know what I was talking about.
Right, check us out.
Skylar Meadows with 107.3 The Juice and Fletcher
Greetings.
Word, The Sojourner's Truth. Thank you very much for joining us. All right, so we got a lot of topics to talk about. We'll stay local first. Mayor Bell this week talking about the water department. The water treatment plant's going to need a lot of work. The rates are going to be raised. He's not saying about how much or when. Skylar, do you think anybody's interested in water rates going up, even if it means that the money could go back into something and giving us all clean drinking water?
Absolutely not. People don't want to pay another dime for things, but the reality is we have to have a great water treatment, plant. We have to have things that work in our city, and water is one of them. Yeah. So regardless, it's an uncomfortable feeling in the pocketbook, but it's a necessary thing.
Fletcher, any blowback on it?
I agree entirely. There appears to be no choice. The rates have gone up, 9.99% over the last 3 years, and it looks as if 9% may not be enough this time around. We have to, the repairs to the water treatment plant are going to be in the neighborhood of over 230.
257 million total.
That's a lot of money.
That's some real change.
But it'll be interesting because obviously we'll have a mayoral election coming up, council elections coming up. Do you think that there's going to be any hesitation from people that obviously we need clean drinking water, but getting to that point, you think there would be any hesitation?
No, I don't believe so. Not if there's a sort of unanimity of spirit within council. But the other thing that the mayor's sort of doing to maybe take a little bit of attention off that, his budget, which was released on Friday for capital improvements, includes a heck of a lot of money for roads. So that'll sort of cover up a little bit.
a little bit.
Discontent over the water rates.
Well, I mean, that's just something that people will have discontent over. We don't want any rates to rise as citizens, but you want your water to work, you want it clean, you want the pipes and sewers to work, so it's a reality check. You want this public service, we have to be able to pay for it.
Not going to be popular, but maybe necessary. Speaking of the council, we have an open seat. Phil Copeland is going to the recorder's office, and the number of people that have applied is well over 24, a former mayor, Jack Ford, and that. Skylar, your thoughts on where we're headed for that spot?
Well, first, full disclosure, I was one of the 29 that did send in to the clerk. I thought it was better than Powerball odds, so why not? I'm a concerned citizen.
Well, see if you won either one.
Right, I didn't win either one. But then when I realized who was going to scream, no, we'll let them handle it. So as far as former Mayor Ford is concerned, this is going to be the challenge for council. It's a Democratic council. There's no surprise to that.
Right.
Who's going to look former Mayor Ford in the face if he's calling in his political markers and then turn and possibly vote for Sean Enright, the labor designee? You know what I mean? That's going to make people step out of comfort zone.
We should say that ultimately, although a number of people put in applications, only 5 actually screened
in front of the
before the
Party.
Democratic, and they are going to release their choice December 20th. They are going to announce. So really 5 screen, and it's a choice between Jack Ford and Sean Enright. Is this an African American seat on council? Is one school of thought, or is this a union seat on council? It has been both.
Why would it be?
I never even went there. My thought is, why are there labels on seats? It's supposed to be who wins, the top vote getter.
Listen, I can't disagree with you. But that is exactly what people have been saying and have been writing about. Who gets the choice this time? And the union looks like they're going to have a very strong voice in this.
I want to be at the meeting because I want to see who's going to sit in former Mayor Ford's face when most of the Democrats on the council probably owe something in their career to something he has done to benefit them. He's calling in his marker, and no disrespect to Mr. Enright or labor. Okay, not at all. I'm a descendant of labor, but I'm saying, how do you do this? So this just says there's no labels on seats, and our council has to step
But labor
up.
has some chips to call in also. Let's not forget that.
They do, but are their chips bigger than former Mayor Ford's chips?
Well, I
this
think
is all I'm saying. And why
there's certainly a lot more recent.
But why are the seats labeled?
The seats are labeled. They've always been labeled in this town.
Why do we have to go there? I'm just
I'm not saying we have to go there, but that's the way we have gone. I mean, that's the reality of the situation. I'm not talking the way things should be. I'm talking about the reality of
Why
it.
are we not?
Opportunity to
Why are
change
we
it.
not even talking about the Republicans coming to the table? I
Why?
haven't heard anybody
Because they
say.
won't come
They
to the
won't
table.
come
They
to
won't
the
come to the
table.
table with anyone
Why, have they been
significant.
invited?
I mean, if they do,
What-
they
let's-
invited themselves. Councilmember Winooski took out an ad. I thought
did.
it was totally gutsy.
Yeah.
It's not been done in Toledo before that I remember. So I think that's great. So out of the 29, we're still talking about the distinct possibility that there will be 2 that are already politically inclined.
Why not for the screening? You said
Democrats.
You said some 5 people are going to be screened. Why isn't
from
George Toronto at that meeting?
Have been screened by the Democrats.
By the Democrats.
By the
Why can't he
Democratic
go to that
Party.
meeting? Why
Why
aren't the
can't John
Republicans screened?
Steinberg come out with somebody for Councilmember Winooski and Sarantu to put up?
Yeah,
Why-
John will put someone up. He will put someone up. It's not, given the number of Republicans on council, it's not going to get a lot of play. But he will certainly put someone up.
Why can't the independents? D. Mike Collins.
Yeah.
Why can't
The
he?
independent,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Right. You're right.
Singular.
Right. Singular. But I'm saying like it's going to be business as usual. But I want to see who's going to do what in terms of voting because it's equally stacked. The deck is.
We're showing people the council chambers there, and obviously it has all its seats. There's plenty of room for everyone to come out. And why don't the screenings happen here? Why don't we have the screenings? Why don't all 29 go out in front of the whole group at one time? There would be some solidarity there.
Some solidarity or some drama? Which
Do
one
we
would you-
really
which
like
one?
politics
Yeah.
that much that we want to
Right.
listen to 29 people go on and on and on and on?
You don't have to be there, but
Or
it
from the other, from
No,
the
I'd
other
love to hear. I'd love to hear Skylar go on, on. But the other 28, I'm not sure.
we would
And
have
I'm
to.
sure
We'd have to have a
I've
time
screamed
limit.
before. I don't want to have to endure that. But you're right. That's a different idea.
We'll work on that.
So
for
it
next
all
time
comes
around.
back to what's the prediction for who will get the seat. This is what we're dealing with.
All right, I'll put you both on the spot. Skylar, you go first.
A Democrat.
Thank you for going out on that limb,
Right,
Fletcher. You want to go
all
as
the way out.
far?
I'm going to go with Sean Enright.
Okay.
You think so?
I'm going to go with Sean Enright. I think the union is going to carry the day.
Oh
in this
no.
particular
Okay.
situation,
Well
you know?
then can I come back then? Okay. A Democrat.
All right, let's talk physical cliff before we wrap up here.
All right.
Skylar and Fletcher,
Okay.
in the minute we have left here, is there a lot of concern about that around here locally when you talk to people?
No, I don't think people think it's quite as real as it's going to be. And also, since they're talking about a possible temporary fix, then people are kind of like, same old.
I think most people think that there's going to be a last-minute compromise. I think that's the feeling. There always is a last-minute compromise, and I'm pretty sure that most people feel that something is going to happen. And I think that from statements that we've had this week, there's a lot of bickering and bannering and name-calling going back and forth. But I really think that what we're seeing is some movement on both sides. We're seeing some movement. It's not the type of movement that the other side necessarily agrees with in public, but we are seeing some movement.
Isn't it a great compromise when no one's happy?
No,
So everybody
Way of the
stays in
government.
Washington, everybody's upset,
Right.
then we all win.
Right.
Skylar Meadows, thank you very
Thanks
much
so
for
much.
joining us this morning. Fletcher Word, as always, we appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
And thank you for joining us this week on Conklin Company. Lee will be back next week. Have yourself a great Sunday.